Welcome back, guys. Kathleen Hart here from the Little Piece of Heart blog. Today I'm really excited, as usual, because I'm sharing another recipe with you. This is, by no means my own recipe. This is just my take on a tomato basil mozzarella platter. And I thought it'd be really fun to share it with you because I do a couple different things with it that maybe you'd like to try the next time you make it. And right now we've got great tomatoes. We have basil from my garden, chives from my garden. It just doesn't get any better. Middle of summer, just use what is plentiful right now, which is everything I'm gonna be using today. Come and take a look at the list of ingredients that we're gonna use. We have a couple tomatoes here. I like to buy the tomatoes on the vine. I think they taste the best, especially right now. A little bit of salt and pepper, some fresh mozzarella cheese. You can get it in a ball like this pretty much at any grocery store nowadays. Fresh chives, fresh basil leaves, and I left them whole, and I'll show you why in a second. And then here we have toasted pine nuts. These are my favorite, and actually there's probably a couple missing, but you can't blame the chef, right? We have olive oil and then a little bit of balsamic glaze. If you don't have the glaze, feel free to just use balsamic vinegar. That's just gonna be the topping at the very end. So what I'm gonna do with my big platter here, I'm actually going to clear off my cutting board and start with my tomatoes, which I have washed and dried, and we're gonna start slicing them up, and I'll show you roughly about the size that I like to cut them in. First one, I just like to make a small cut to get off the end, and then just like that. Now that the tomatoes are sliced, I'm moving on to my mozzarella here. Now it's kind of a weird shape. I like to just kind of pick a side where I can stand it up, and then using a serrated knife, just go slowly. This is a little tedious, especially if it's not ice cold. The colder it is, the easier it will be to cut, but you're just gonna cut big slices just like this. And if it's not perfect, do not worry. All right, so the mozzarella sliced, and then I slice it in half again. And this will just make a little bit go a long way. So the only other thing I need to do is cut up my chives. So I'm gonna move all of that to the front of the cutting board, and then it's kind of, everything's all prepped and ready to go, and then it's really easy to just throw together this platter. Cut these in half. Go. I'm just gonna do a small dice for the chives. So now that we have everything prepped and ready to go, which is how I think you guys should do it, because then the platter assembly is super simple. So let's go down to the platter, and I'll show you exactly how I like to put this all together. I'm going to take my tomato slices, and I'm going to go around the platter, and I'm going to alternate between tomato and basil leaf. And if you make a mess, we'll clean that up later. Do not worry. Now that I have my tomatoes and my basil all arranged, I'm going to take my mozzarella and I'm going to put it right in the middle. Pile it right on top of each other, just like that. Okay. Then we're going to take the chives, and we're gonna mostly scatter them on top of the mozzarella just to brighten up that white on white. But then you're also gonna go right around and scatter some right on the tomatoes as well. And I like a lot of chives. I love chives, and it gives this, it's almost like a salad, platter salad. So it gives that little oniony kick that I crave in salads. And it makes it look pretty too. Okay, perfect. So, next, I want to take my pine nuts that I already toasted on the stove, so they're nice and nutty. They're so good. And I'm going to just take them and do the same thing, just kind of scatter them right on top. And the reason that I use pine nuts is I really like the contrast of everything's kind of soft. The mozzarella is soft, the tomatoes are soft. So like a little bit of a nutty crunch. You're not expecting it, and it really is phenomenal. Just to have, my mouth's watering, to have the different textures and everything in this dish is just so cool. And people don't expect it. So it's a really cool addition to kind of a traditional tomato basil salad. This is like kicking it up a notch. So we did that. Next, I want to take some olive oil. Now, I want to just drizzle it right on top of everything. It's like we're dressing the salad now. So we're using the balsamic vinegar or glaze, whatever you have, and then the oil as our dressing. So I want to just go really lightly with the oil and just kind of go back and forth and get a nice light drizzle on everything. Oh, how good does this look? And we're not even done yet. Oh, beautiful. All right, salt and pepper time. We need to salt this. Mozzarella and the tomatoes, they want salt. The nuts aren't terribly salty, so we're gonna give it a good sprinkling of salt, making sure to get everything in that pinch. All the tomatoes. Gorgeous. Lastly, little pinch of pepper. And you can really do any spices that you like at this point. If you like garlic powder, you can go ahead and do that. I know you guys are probably wondering where it is. I'm gonna leave it out this time. Maybe next time I'll add it in. All right, you can actually prepare it just like this. Cover it with plastic wrap, pop it in your fridge. It's a great make-ahead salad for a picnic, for a dinner, anything. Right now, I'm gonna show you how I like to serve it though, which is once you bring it to the table, you're gonna wanna take your balsamic glaze or vinegar, whatever you have, and we're gonna just drizzle this right over the top. How gorgeous does that look? And you can be as artsy as you want here if you wanna go back and forth and do a pattern. I'm not feeling very artsy today, so I'm just gonna kinda put it where I think it needs it. But you wanna make sure that each tomato gets a healthy little dollop of this glaze because the flavor is phenomenal when you add this with the olive oil. Oh, it's like, I could drink this. It's so good. All right, what do we think, guys? Tomato basil platter, kicked up a notch, Cat Hart style. Not bad, huh? I need to try some of this because it looks amazing, and nothing is better than eating it right as you top it with the balsamic. Then it's ready to go. So I'm just gonna take tomato here, piece of basil, got my pine nuts on there, chives. See what happens when you just add everything a little bit at a time and you have it all prepped ahead of time? Every piece gets a little bit of each topping. And then I'm gonna grab a piece of mozzarella here. Same thing, perfection. All right, I'm gonna cut this right in half. I'm going in with a big bite this time because I want to taste everything all at once. Let's see. I'm fumbling, I just want to eat it. It's perfection. The nuts, I'm telling you, you make it like that, people are going to be like, why didn't I think of that? That nutty undertone, that little bit of a crunch, it's exactly what this salad needs. You guys gotta make this. Make it for your dinner tonight. It's perfect because all this stuff is in season right now. Tomatoes, basil, chives, you can find them anywhere for a good price too. Follow my blog, subscribe to my channel. I will put the link below to this recipe with all the measurements and just how I assembled it together. I hope you guys, enjoyed this video, and I hope you come back for more because I'm going to be sharing more low-carb recipes for you, kind of reinventing the classics. That's something I've been doing lately. So I hope you stay tuned, and if you like this recipe, give me a big thumbs up, and I will see you next time.